Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you had a good day today. It's a good day for me. School, and then I went out to get a couple things, and I come back, and then it started raining. Typical. So, I've been inside most of the day today, avoiding the rain and the cold. It's not really cold, it's just the rain is cold. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It's not a weather channel. So anyway, I hope it was a good day for you. This was a good day for me. What did I wear today? I was feeling nostalgic. I'll give you a quick story about this one at the end again, but Guess, some people call it Guess Green. It's just called Guess Home, or Guess Man, I guess. It's just called Guess Man. And, yeah. How do I apply it? It's a moderately light scent. It's not real super light, but it's right in the middle of being light and little heavier than, you know, like a Dior Homme Sport or a Jean Barbatos Artisan Pure, but not as heavy as a Dior Homme. You know what I mean? So it's a moderate scent that way. So I went with 4 on my moisturizer. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 on the chest, tank top on. 1 on the tank top. 1 in each crink of the elbow. And, oh, the shoulders too. And that was it. And that was a perfect amount. Performance. Got about 6 hours out of it, which isn't bad. Projected pretty good for an hour. Then it comes in pretty quick, but I'll get into that. Yeah, projected for about an hour, about an arm's length out there. Like I said, then it comes in pretty quick. Gives you a bubble for a few hours, or a couple hours, and then it's a skin scent for a couple hours. And a really light skin scent the last hour or so. You could reapply after about 5 if you wanted to. 4.5, 5 hours. So yeah, what's the smell? This one, I haven't looked it up in a while, but a couple of years ago I remember looking it up, and a lot of people liked or hated it. It seemed to be there's really no in between. There's a few of us in between. I'm an in-betweener. I don't love it, but I don't hate it either. It's okay. It's nostalgic for me, and I'll get the story at the end. Quick story. So I love it that way. But what do I get from it? Well, I mean, there's a lot of notes in this, believe it or not. I remember there being like fir and wormwood and lavender and musk and pepper and ginger and nutmeg, blah, 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 blah. And there's definitely some amber in there. So, you know, it is what it is. When I first spray it on, it's like green, fresh, very synthetic, made me sneeze. I had to take a pill today because of it. So keep that in mind. But not unpleasant, though. It's a dry scent and a fresh scent at the same time. The dry coming from the wormwood. Wormwood's also giving it a bit of almost a waxy vibe, a slight waxy kind of vibe. And but it's green, right off the top. Green, fresh and dry. Woody. And it stays that way. There's not really a whole lot of changes in the scent. Certain things come out a little more, but it's pretty linear, and that's pretty much the whole scent. Green, woody with some powdery lavender, a powdery vibe. It's dry, it's fresh. Some pepper and some ginger and some nutmeg really come out in the mid, but still, it's still got that basic greenness to it, I guess. It would be greenness and woodiness. And then at the base, some just your basic amber or musk and wood. And that seems to be the case with a lot of scents, and I think that's simply because that's what a lot of scents use as fixatives to help boost the rest of the scent. So the last thing you're going to smell is the strongest part of the scent, the strongest notes in the scent. And I don't mean strong as in smell. I mean as in longevity. And it's usually musk and woods, of course, because they're the ones that sit on the skin the longest. So that's why most fragrances, almost all of them, have a real basic musk and wood dry down, especially in a far dry down. So yeah, that's what you get from it, guys. It's green, it's woody, it's got a slight waxy vibe to it with a powdery lavender. Not an overly powdered lavender. It's just giving it a touch of powderiness. With some spices in the middle, pepper and ginger and nutmeg. Mixing in, not taking over from that green woody vibe. And there's a slight sweetness, almost an aquatic sweetness, but not an aquatic scent throughout the whole thing. So I'm going to give it, say that's an amber, some form of amber. And yeah, that's it. So basically it's a green, aromatic, fresh scent with a hint of sweetness. And it's pleasant. I didn't get any compliments today, but I only went to a farmer's market to get some dead corn on sale for $5 a dozen. So I bought 3 dozen corn because I like corn. And yeah, so that's it. That was a quick day with. Here's the reason I'm nostalgic for it. It falls along the same lines as Juke Jump. It was one of the ones I got just before my life fell apart for the first time. And first time, the only time, hopefully. And yeah, I got this around the same time. I got the Juke Jump with my XX. And that and this kind of got me back into wanting more cologne again. And I couldn't afford any, but I'd always go look after that for a solid few years. Buy one every now and then, cheap for 20 or 30 bucks when I had the extra cash, which wasn't often, believe it or not. I know you look at my collection now and you're like, oh, this guy must be loaded. No, I worked hard for this. I still work hard for this. I've learned to manage money. I couldn't do that before. So anyway, it's not a story about that. It's just, it reminds me of that time in my life where, and you know, at the time, it was a horrible feeling. I could afford nothing, couldn't get it. It was horrible. But looking back on it, I almost look back on it with, I don't want to say glee or happiness, but like, yeah, you know, that was still a fun time. Because as bad times as I had, I still had some fun during them times. And going and looking at all the colognes and eventually knowing I'm going to own all of them. I know I will. And I kind of do. That was fun. So, yeah, that's it, guys. Just it makes me think of... It makes me think of the harder times. It makes me appreciate the times I have now. And the fact that I feel so blessed. And I really do. Every time I said it before, I'll say it again. Every time I pick up a new cologne or a new video game or a new book or a new movie, anything new, I always give thanks. I don't know to who. I'm not an overly religious person. I just give thanks. I'm so blessed to be able to do that because there are a lot of people who can't. So yeah, that's the nostalgia story behind it. And it reminds me of the day we went to Magic Mountain with my XX and her best friend and husband at the time. Because he loaded up on this before we went. And the whole car ride up is about an hour and 40 minutes away from here. We were like, dude, you put too much on. All three of us. Oh, man, you stink. Roll down the window. Can't roll down the window. We're on the highway. God damn it. Turn off the air conditioning. So yeah, it's just a fun set with a couple fun little memories. All right, guys. Peace, love, be good to each other.